Call the regular city council meeting Monday, June 30, 2014 to order. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf.
Here.
Lukosius.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mueller.
Here.
Sapienza. Mayor Harrell.
Here, please stand for the pledge. Okay, we'll move straight to our presentation. We have Mr. Vickery for the economic development announcement.
Thank you, Mayor Harrell. Good?
Yeah.
You don't have to push it? It's been pushed permanently, I guess. That's nice. We have with us some visitors tonight. They're from AgriCare Labs, and they're going to let us know tonight that they have a letter of intent. They're going to file a medical cannabis application cultivation center permit for a license with the state of Illinois, and they've given me this letter, and it was addressed to Mayor Harrell. I'd like to read it into the public record tonight. June 30th, 2014, the Honorable Scott Harrell, Mayor. City of Peru, 1901 4th Street, Peru, Illinois, 61354. Reference AgriCare LLC, doing business as AgriCare Labs Medical Marijuana Cultivation Center. Dear Mayor Harrell, thank you for the warm welcome you and Bob Vickery, Director of Community Development, have extended to my colleagues and us during our visits to the City of Peru. We have enjoyed sharing our experience and knowledge of the medical marijuana industry with you. AgriCare has decided to seek approval from the Illinois Department of Agriculture to establish a medical marijuana cultivation center at 22 Unitite Drive in Peru. 22 Unitite Drive is the former home of Yellow Freight Trucking. Our interest in pursuing this site stems in part from the professionalism and courtesy shown to us by you and Mr. Vickery. AgriCare is seeking to make a capital investment of approximately $8 to $10 million in both the acquisition and new build-out of the site. AgriCare's capital investment will reestablish economic vitality to a property that has been vacant since the winter of 2010-2011. Peru will benefit from the increase in property taxes, taxes on AgriCare's utilization of public utilities, and AgriCare's usage of electricity provided by Peru's electric power plant. AgriCare's new building of the site will create approximately 100 construction jobs, including job opportunities for electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and other subtrades. AgriCare will also create approximately 100 full-time positions at its cultivation center within the first 3 years of operation. These positions will include a range of opportunities for cultivators, clinicians, and middle management. The annual salaries for these positions will range from $30,000 to $120,000. AgriCare plans to hold a local job fair as it is committed to hiring from the community. AgriCare is further committed to working with the community members and public officials and plans to invest several thousands of dollars in Peru's proposed community programs and projects. AgriCare has secured control of the site, which is currently located within an M2 district. We are filing for a special use approval as required by the Peru zoning ordinance. We look forward to presenting our significant expertise in operational planning to Peru's Plan Commission. Approval in Connecticut was accomplished in a state that has the strictest rules governing the medical marijuana cultivation industry. However, because of the quality of our permit application, Connecticut awarded its first and highest scoring medical marijuana cultivation permit to us. We expect to be as successful here in Illinois. If you have any questions or need additional information, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you again for your assistance and for considering our request. We would be very fortunate to establish our operation in Peru and participate as a strong corporate citizen in your community. Very truly yours, Ethan Ruby, Managing Member, Glenn Taylor, President, AgriCare LLC. Mayor Harrell and I have worked quite a bit with this prospect, as we have with others. But this is our first I would now like to turn over the podium to Glenn Taylor, who is the president of Agricare LLC.
Thank you, Bob. I'm the president of Agricare Labs. Your Honor, Alderman, I want to thank you for the opportunity to present our concept in front of you, which is a proven concept, which you will come to know, and hopefully by the end of this and after your questions, we'll have an opportunity to serve the city of Peru. There'll be a handout that we'll hand out to the aldermen after. We're going to hold on to that and go through the presentation first and then get to that handout. I'm from Libertyville, Illinois. I've been in healthcare for about 35 years, most recently with a company called Medco Health Solutions. I retired from Medco a couple of years ago, and as my wife said, I must have failed retirement pretty badly, because when I met Ethan, it stirred something in me to immediately want to be part of this new burgeoning industry called medical marijuana, the medical marijuana being the most important part of it, because I see it as an opportunity to further my interest, which is helping people. I've been a patient advocate my entire career, and I'd like to see people get the medicines that they need for their relief. So that's why I got into this. I also met with Ethan's team and was impressed not only with the team, but the leadership that Ethan has shown. You'll get a chance to meet him in a few minutes. But just the team is such a wonderful set of people, and all have the right spirit and heart for what we're trying to accomplish and what they are already accomplishing in Connecticut. Next slide. So Agricare Labs is an amalgamation of the words Agricare. We're going to be in the cultivation business, a growing operation. We're not involved in dispensing. We're growing. We're a wholesaler, and we'll sell to the dispensaries. The patient care part of it is self-explanatory. These are medicines. They're important medicines. There are people in need of these medicines, and they provide tremendous relief, and that's what we're all about. We're addressing relief through non-narcotic means, and I think all of us have been around for years know that there's several drugs out there that really can cause addictions, several other problems. The side effects are terrible, and I've seen that. My last 20 years has been with a pharmaceutical distribution company, and I've seen that over and over again. And this is an opportunity to do this with really a natural medicine that is derived from marijuana and then made into products that we distribute to the dispensaries. And these products have a multitude of delivery methods. It's not just smoking. There's also tinctures, there's lozenges, there's vapors, there's oils. There's a number of ways that it's delivered, and our view and our hope is that in the future, the smoking will become much less of a way of the application of this product. I'm not necessarily against that, but I think there's still significant concerns with smoking, and these other ways I think are very beneficial. And one of the things that we'll be addressing is research, working with universities, working with hospitals, working to find out the things we just don't know about marijuana at this stage of the game. Other countries are way ahead of us in terms, go back one. Other countries are still way ahead of us in terms of the research. And one of the things about Americans that we all know is that whatever they're studying isn't good enough. We want to study it for ourselves and on ourselves, and that's how we'll learn about what to do next steps with these medicines. But I think it's important that we really establish a way to get the answers that all of us really need for the long run. Next slide. So our focus is 100% on medicine. Our focus is 100% on cultivation and growing and producing these medicines. We have an operations team that had several years of experience in Colorado and pulled out of Colorado after they decriminalized the law because our focus is on medicines, not on the recreational use. We had 100% legal compliance in Colorado. That is critically important, that you have the kind of operation that has the security, that has the rules set up, that has the discipline to deliver that kind of compliance. And the team behind, as was written in the letter, was the top scoring cultivation center application in Connecticut. And that's very important. You're dealing with a group that's proven, and we're the best at what we do, and we'll bring that technology and we'll bring those services and those rules and procedures to the operation in Peru. Keep going. So now I'd like to turn it over to our founder and chief executive, Ethan Ruby.
Thank you all very much. Let's try that again. How's that? Better? Good? Okay. Thank you all for your time. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. I appreciate your town being open to this. A medical marijuana producer is coming to this district. The rules have been written. One is coming here. And I would love to see that economic benefit be brought to this town by way of our company. I, 14 years ago, was hit by a car walking in a crosswalk. I was a pedestrian. Since then, I have been confined to this wheelchair. I have lived in pain. I have been given dozens of different medications to control the mental and psychological detriments that I have dealt with and had to endure. The least side effects from any medication I've found through medical marijuana. There is medicinal value here. It needs to be studied. It's illegal because there's no research. There's no research because it's illegal, and that cycle has to stop. We have a unique opportunity to conduct that research, and what I am interested in is operating only in the states that have the highest level of entry, the most strict rules possible. Connecticut was the first set of those rules, and that's why I brought my entire operational team from Colorado to Connecticut, because in order to do that science, in order to conduct those trials, you have to be operating in a place that has the strictest standards. I'm pleased to say that your lawmakers here in Illinois have created a very similar, maybe even stricter set of rules. That really interests me because that allows me to conduct studies and trials that are not going to have the federal government come in here. The federal government, yes, this is still illegal federally. However, there's been significant amount of guidance that has said if producers are following the state mandatory rules, if the dispensaries are following the state mandatory rules, and there's enforcement, that's a key issue. If there's not enough enforcement agents, then whatever rules get put into place don't matter. You will have that enforcement here. We will have that enforcement in Connecticut, and that's why I am willing to dedicate the millions of dollars of my investors into a potential business here in Peru. What we did in, can you just go back one for a second? What we did in Connecticut was turn an existing 60,000 square foot facility. We broke it into 3 phases. We built out the initial 35,000 square feet in just under 4 months, and we will only build out the other 30,000 square feet if the patient count rises enough to warrant that expansion. We are dedicated to the patient. We're dedicated to improving the quality of life of patients. There are 40 conditions that the Illinois statute covers. There probably will be more over time. There is medicinal value here. Listening to the patients, understanding their needs, we will have a consistent feedback loop that involves the patient's information about how this happens. We hope to establish partnership with universities and other laboratories and research centers so that they're actually double-blind trials that can actually be implemented for future studies that can actually continue to build on themselves so we actually can further this science along. Eventually, as Glenn was pointing out, there will be targeted medications. So if you have a migraine or if you're having trouble sleeping at night, you're given a very specific medication, not just here's a joint and you'll feel better. It doesn't work. That's not medicine. And that is not the future of where this is going. So our commitment to you guys, to Illinois and to the town of Peru, is we have 100% backing from our investors, from private investors. We will come to this with zero debt and zero obligations. We will purchase the building outright, and we will contribute the entire working capital from our investor base. We promise you complete transparency. The only way this works is that for you to trust us and for us to have trust in you, the town, that is going to support us in what we're trying to do here. Building community and healthcare advocate, being a good corporate citizen is essential to me. It's essential to every business that I do. Positive energy is something that I really believe in, and I think what you put out does come back to you. We have a lot of local ownership, we have a lot of local investors, but we understand that we are guests coming in here to a certain extent. We want to be great hope. We want to show that we are humble and good guests, and we want to be able to support you guys in this town in any way possible. We will have a continued ongoing relationship. Anything that you guys need from the community point of view, we hopefully will be able to contribute on an ongoing basis. Local economy, jobs, and certainly we will have a commitment to employing other people with disabilities. We will have an ongoing relationship. We'll dedicate a certain portion of our workforce to people that have special needs and could do the jobs the variety of jobs that we'll have available at the facility. So why do we like Peru so much? Well, other than the wonderful meeting that we have had from your local town officials, which I give you guys a lot of credit for understanding that this law is coming, for understanding that somebody's coming to this district, and why shouldn't it be here? You should be very proud of the people that you have elected here in your town, and continue to support them. The physical location is important, but the resources that you have here, both from a job workforce, from the energy, the industrial location, it's a lot of the attributes that we look for when we go into a town. We like to be around things, but we don't want to be in the middle of it. So security is uber important to us, from an internal point of view with our employees to an external point of view of making sure that our product does not end up in some high school kid's hand in a neighboring state. That hurts us more than it would hurt anybody else. We will absolutely not be letting that happen. Next. So again, our initial capital investment will be, including the purchase of the facility, between $8 and $10 million on the equipment and the build-out of that facility. We will create 100 jobs initially that will go into building the facility out. I want to be very clear that the 100 jobs that we hope to be able to offer comes as patient count builds out. We are not going to build 100 or 150,000 square foot facility right away. We will build a 40,000 square foot facility with the opportunity to build out and expand should the patient count go up. If more patients need this medicine and more medicine needs to be produced, we will have the capacity to be able to do that build out. But we would never put the company at risk to be able to put all of that stuff out in the first place. It builds as demand and as time goes. Salaries, I believe in paying my employees more than minimum wage. I believe you get what you pay for, and I believe that if you make your employees feel part of your company as if you treat them like family, they will take more pride in their work. They will take more pride in their job. They will feel good about what they're doing. This is a job people are going to feel proud of. This is a job people can go home at the end of the day and say, I make medicine that helps people. I am part of a wave that is going through this country right now, and I'm doing it with the right people. I'm doing it with people that really do care about the medicine, that really do care about the people that are involved. And I feel very fortunate to be able to provide that for the people in Connecticut right now. Our employees, we have about 35 employees right now, and they all are so excited to come to work and tell me every day that they thank me for this opportunity, that they feel part of something that's bigger than themselves. I share my passion and my vision with everybody, and I make all of our employees feel that they are part of that family. I think if you do that, you have a better workforce. I think if you do that, you have better workers. I think if you do that, you have better efficiency. So I guess in a certain way, it's almost selfish because it makes me have a better company if I treat people that way. Strong community participant and law enforcement. The local law enforcement that I have met already, we will we will ask as much as you are willing to give of your time to help us design our security system. You know, we have a very competent, very experienced ex-Army Ranger that develops all of our security. But there are unique things here to Peru, and you should be as knowledgeable and averse as our security system as we are. So that engagement will be an ongoing. Same thing with fire. Same thing. As much as we can have the expertise of the local landscape involved, we welcome that, and we will be, again, an open door, very transparent policy with local people. And of course, I live on this planet, and I have children, and I hope my grandchildren will have a planet to live on. We are dedicated as much as we can to green and renewable resources, solar energy as much as possible. We do use a lot of electricity, so hopefully it'll power our offices, but we will certainly put up solar. We will look into geothermal. I think the technology is getting closer. Any types of renewable resources that we possibly can use, we are looking into. We will continue to look into. It is always on our radar screen, and that is not always just about saving money. It's also about doing the right thing. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I thank you so much for being open to this idea and open to this understanding and knowing that this is coming and stepping up and saying that you want it here only if it's done by the right people. Again, thank you very much for your time.
Are there any questions from members of the council for Mr. Ruby or for Mr. Taylor?
The first thing that my constituency talked about was security, and I think my questions have been answered, and I'll be able to answer theirs in terms of how much security, who's going to be involved, and that will be involved locally, and that it is a high priority. So thank you for that.
24/7 security guards, over 100 cameras at the facility, on monitoring at all times, with off-site monitoring, on-site storage of that, as well as off-site storage of it, security guards themselves. Absolutely. Live directly to the state police, real time. Dated sentries for employee parking.
Excellent. Thank you.
I do have a couple questions. As far as filtration goes, how does your facility hold filtration?
So we have HEPA filtrations along with carbon filters to be able to keep the smell out from going in and going out, coming into the facility, opening the filters as well to create that perfect environmental conditions for growing the plant.
What about heat lamps? Do you use the HIDs? Like, how many wattage? Is it 1,000 watts that you use, or?
We use it's a proprietary light. It's a special one that we actually have imported from Colorado. LED lights are cheaper on the electric bill, but they do not grow the flame as well as these other lights. They are still about high pressure sodium type stuff.
The facility that you're looking at, are you planning on restructuring that whole facility? I'm kind of concerned in thinking about all of the trucking doors that are there.
Yeah, so we will basically take the existing 38,000 square feet and use that as our phase one. All of those doors will be blocked off. There'll be one great door open for receiving stuff and a separate crate for setting stuff out. All the other doors will be blocked off, and then we will build on sections onto that existing facility as in our second and third phase.
I know inside of those cultivation centers, they can get pretty warm. As far as sprinkler systems go, do your
Yes, absolutely. Full
Okay.
sprinkler system throughout the building. Every room is basically its own ecosystem. Every room we have massive HVAC systems. They're all custom made, very high intensity machines that are usually used for indoor swimming pools that have added components on it, extra filters on, extra humidity controls added on.
I do have a concern with that location, and the reason being is, as you know, the law states 2,500 feet from a residential district. And even though that is, there's no residential district within that 2,500 feet, there are living facilities within 20, I believe I Google Earthed it, it was like 2,100 feet from the property line of that location to the area over there where the condominium complex is, along with the restaurants and stuff that are over there in the hotel. So I do have some concerns with that location and, you know, what's located in that area.
And I share your concerns for security reasons, I share your concerns for access reasons. We have literally been over the entire state looking for viable buildings that fit this 2,500-foot rule. This one did fall under in that category. That's one of the reasons that we've actually had to actively pursue it so much. We'll take all the steps that we possibly can to mitigate those concerns. We'll have security, we will have things that control for the smell factor. We don't want visitors. This is not open to the public. You will not be able to know what's in that facility. We don't have to put a big sign up there. You will not know what's going on there unless you were told or figured it out some other way.
What about the laboratory? Evidently, you won't have a laboratory on site, or would you?
So we would have our own personal laboratory for our own testing to better our genetics and better our understanding of the stuff that we're growing and what we're extracting. For the patients of Connecticut, every piece of medicine that leaves our facility before it gets to a dispensary to be sold to them has to go to an independent laboratory for a strict set of tests that test for heavy metals and pesticides and other harmful carcinogens that could potentially be in the plant itself.
How does that transport?
We would use a armored car transport service.
Thank you.
It sounds like your security is based on the pharmaceutical industry, like in Abbott Labs or Humira. It sounds very familiar to that. How many initial jobs do you anticipate on the opening site? I know you have to get a patient accounts and.
I would say, within the first year, we would safely be at 35 to 50 jobs in the first year. I would say at this size facility, we're 50 jobs in the first year. That's including upper management and thank you.
One more question. What about water runoff? You know, when you're watering the plants, and I know that you feed those plants with, you know, anything other than, you know, just regular flowers. So how does the runoff work?
So we've actually tested our water, and there's nothing harmful in our water. By the time we're done using it, everything gets filtered out. We actually could put it right into the municipal drain. We'll do the same thing. You can have it tested. You can have it tested right away. You can have it spot check tested several times during the year. If we can, I'll water our lawn with it. It'll be great. And there's no harmful any chemical. We don't grow with anything harmful, and certainly the byproduct of what comes out of the plant is not.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, GW Pharma is making the news recently from the Pure strain. Apparently stops it, for extended periods of time seizures by juveniles. What? And I know it's only in Mississippi now in a special lab, but what additional process is needed for Pure strain?
So there are very few, if any, Pure strain out there. I think what you're talking about is the CBD strain that has been shown for benefits in seizures and other.
Yes.
Okay, so that is certainly something. We have few strains that are high in CBD, low in THC. So you can smoke as much as you want. It's not going to get you high, but it will cure your cancer. Those are the types of plants that we're really interested in developing more. And until we can start doing that testing and starting to do that breeding in a controlled manner, it'll take us a little while, but that is absolutely where our science is going.
And that, I assume, would require a number of medical technicians? It seems Europe's well ahead of here. But there can be no genetic patents, correct?
Well, the only patent right now in marijuana is held by the U.S. government, interestingly enough. But eventually what we will start seeing is targeted medication. So I can't patent the strain of a plant, but if I can recreate the exact same ratio of cannabinoids repeatedly over in consistent dosage and form. Now I have it in an extracted form and put it into a pill. Now I have something that I can take. And that's why if you follow, the pharma companies and the biotech companies, they're very interested in this. Very interested in this. And they're very concerned that they're not the ones who are controlling it.
So I have the understanding, will your facility make the, I know there's different like oils and lollipops and brownies and stuff like that. Will your facility manufacture those also?
We will not be doing edibles in the first few years. We will be doing extractions. We will offer the raw flour, and we will be offering vaporization, and we will be offering various forms of the extraction itself. As far as brownies or cookies or that kind of stuff, I'm not engaging in that at this point in time. I'm interested in developing some medicines, tinctures, or certainly something that we're interested in, transcendental patches, other ways of applying it to medicine in a different way. I understand the medicinal value of potentially having it in various forms. I would have a hard time wrapping my head around me being a medicine. I am for making this medicine available to people in a way that they can, that is able for them to take. Somebody's going through end-of-life terminal or hospice care, and the only thing they can get down to the ground, and that's the way that they can get the medicine, I'm all for it. I'll find a way to make it happen.
And again, it's sold to a dispensary, and that's where the prescription basis goes from to your company to the dispensary. It's not sold at an Osco or a Walgreens. So I think some people get that implication that you're going to be out knocking on everybody's door.
We're opposed to the public. No, we have no direct patient interaction. We will be collecting patient surveys and patient feedback to be able to grow better medication. Dispensary locations are the ones that deal with the patient directly. That patient would get a recommendation from their doctor. They would fill out the forms online through the state, and they would take that recommendation to the dispensary, and they would work with that dispensary technician to help hopefully educate them on having trouble sleeping at night because they need an indica or a sativa or something in it. So they would be there to have those people that could sleep at night. We'll certainly provide that information on our website, but and do other informational pamphlets.
One last question. Any other facilities in Peru besides the one you're looking at have you looked at any other facilities or just this particular one?
We've looked at every possible location in the entire District 17 we've looked at. This is our first one.
Are there any further questions? Hearing none, I think we have some handouts. Okay, why don't you just...
My partner, Dan Emmons, by the way, he was the owner of the facility in Colorado. He is the operating executive for our facility in Connecticut. Thank you.
I don't know if this is a question for you or not, but who gets the dispensaries going? Or
It's separate, it'll happen simultaneously, but it's a separate application process. A separate zoning, separate set of requirements, separate agency that'll be reviewing those applications.
Are they in Illinois, the dispensaries?
Oh, absolutely. Everything is in the state. Nothing can be sold over the state line.
I think you're going to see subsidiaries of Walgreens, CVS, all of them.
Any other questions about us or about the industry in general? Very informative. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I believe we have press releases for members of the press over here. If you'd like some press access, we're going to be out in the front hallway. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're going to read the letter. I'm going to skip around and go to petitions and communications and read the letter so we can turn it over to the Well, we have a letter, David Bartley, Peru City Clerk, 1901 4th Street, Peru, Illinois. Special use approval. My firm represents Agricare LLC, Agricare Labs. Agricare is seeking to establish a medical marijuana cultivation center at 22 Unitite Drive, Peru, Illinois. As the site is located within an M2 district, Agricare must secure special use approval from Peru's Plan Commission. In order to appear before Peru's Plan Commission, Agricare request that you please place our request for special use hearing on the June 30th, 2014 Peru City Council. So I'm asking for a motion to receive this, place on file.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Waldorf, to receive the communication, place on file, and turn it over to the Plan Commission for review and recommendation. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a major concern with the location there, and that's, I know what the state law says with the 2,500 feet, but it's only 2,100 feet away from the nearest living quarters of that apartment complex and the restaurants. And that facility in general, just, I have a problem with that.
It's all in the zoning. We're following all the rules of the zoning by the state of Illinois.
I also think that all we're doing tonight is turning it over to the Plan Commission.
Right.
We have to afford people due process so they can have a
Sure.
hearing.
Absolutely, understand.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Motion approved. Okay, we'll go back on track here. Did we have any public comment cards filled out?
No, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion to receive the minutes placed on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Waldorf to receive the minutes placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to receive the reports, place on file. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd just like to point out a few items. From the sales tax, it's fairly stable from last year at this standpoint. If you remember, the month of March had terrible weather, so that is encouraging to see that the sales tax is a little bit ahead, about $7,000 ahead, but it's fairly stable from where it was last year. Additionally, if you look at the Treasurer's monthly report on page 9, you'll notice that there's an improved balance in the positive about $413,000. So the city account, or the major operating cash flow, has increased by that much. So that is an important factor to point out. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Move on to committee. Accounts and Finance, Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor. First item on the agenda, if I can find it, is disbursements for July 2nd. Total disbursements are $969,287.17. I move that we receive the disbursements, place them on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Putoff to receive the disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in their usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Prokosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to renew boiler and machinery insurance with Travelers Insurance through River Valley Insurance in the amount of $84,610. So I move that we do so.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Putoff to renew the boiler and machinery insurance with Travelers through River Valley Insurance in the amount of $84,610. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, the city reached out through our insurance broker to 4 different companies. 2 of them declined to bid based on some large claims that we had in the last couple of years. And then 2 of them did supply bids, and Travelers was the lowest. And this will result in, I think, about a $9,000 or $10,000 a year savings.
Is there any further discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Prokosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
The next thing we discussed at the Finance Committee meeting last Wednesday is effective January 1st of 2015, just for the council's update, the public library will no longer be on the city's workers' comp insurance. The library reached out to, similar to what the city does with the Illinois Municipal League. There's a similar association of libraries in the state. And the library reached out through that association and got a little bit better rate. So that's effective January 1st. And it remains to be seen how that may or may not impact the city's renewal fee. The library would always pay their own workers' comp. Whatever their charge was, they paid the city for that. The other thing is everybody should know that the city recently eliminated Task, who was the third-party administrator, I guess, of the healthcare reimbursement. And now Kim Reese is doing that internally, and that seems to be working very well. We've had a couple of employees be very happy with that. And so the last thing is I asked Treasurer Hyla, who couldn't make it tonight, to do a study of the city's debt position every year. This is something the Finance Committee likes to keep in front of us. So if you look over the past year from April 30th of 2013 through April 30th of 2014, the city's net debt reduction was about $1.9 million. The only thing that we've increased is we did borrow $500,000 or $530,000 to purchase the fire truck. So other than that, we would have been down about $2.4 million. So in total, the city's net debt is moving in the right direction. And that is all I had, unless Alderman Putoff has anything else.
Okay, move to Public Works. Alderman Waldorf, Alderman Lukosius.
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight I have the electric financial report for the month of May. And during this period, we showed revenues over expenditures in the amount of $215,469.77. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf to receive electric financial report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I have the City of Peru Electric Department monthly operations report for the month of May 2014. During this period, total kilowatt hours sold was 20,222,508, which resulted in charges of $1,751,528.27. And we had avoided purchasing power due to the hydro in the amount of $105,735.32. So $105,000 savings for the hydro. I'd like to make a motion that this report be received and placed on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf to receive electric operations report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve an upgrade of the portable radio coverage in the amount of $12,890 for the electric department. And what this is there are some dead spots in town, and through a repeater system that this will allow for portable handhelds to be used in our Water Street substation and some other areas of town that there's been some difficulty in communicating.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf to approve the upgrade of portable radio coverage in the amount of $12,890. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Euler.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I have the City of Peru revenue and expense report for the Water and Sewer Department as of May 31st, 2014. This report shows in the current period revenues over expenses of $10,801.51. I would like to make a motion to receive this report and place it on file, please.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to receive the water financial report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to approve a change order in the amount of $1,500 to Brandt Builders Incorporated for the Pit Stop Lift Station. This is the difference in price to go to 2 3-phase grinder pumps. We've had some issues up there with the regular single-phase pumps, and this will put us in a better position to not have maintenance issues with that lift station.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to approve the change order in the amount of $1,500 to Brandt Builders for the pit stop station.
Your Honor, I have to clarify something. This change order from Brandt Builders is for a manhole rehabilitation as part of the original bid for Brandt Builders, which took it from $46,000 to $47.50, and the grinder pumps would be will be an additional upcharge from that amount. So this is just a change order for manhole rehabilitation for $1,500.
I reported the information that I had, so I'll make the motion just the same.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second with the correction that this is for the manhole rehabilitation, same price, right? $1,500?
That's correct, $1,500.
Okay, is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next, I'll make a motion to approve a change order in the amount of $2,750 to Stott Contracting for the diversion structure, and I will ask Chief King to explain that.
On the inside of that diversion structure, there were areas of flutes, they called them, that moved the diversion one way to the other. This structure was set up after the fact to support them, and that was after they got the concrete poured in there. So that's what these are, this change order is for.
Anything else?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to approve the change order for $2,750 to Stott Contracting for the diversion structure. Is there any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to announce a Public Works Committee meeting on July 21st at 10 a.m. Chief Burnaby, do you have anything? No, sir. Chief King?
That's it?
That's all I have.
Okay, Public Health and Safety, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Sapienza.
Your Honor, I have the fire report for the pay period ending June 21st, 2014. The Peru Fire Department received and responded to a total of 7 fire calls for the pay period, for a total payroll of $3,182.96. I'd like to make a motion to approve and place on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Ferrari, to receive Peru Fire Department report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Public Property, Alderman Perez, Alderman Mueller.
We have no report at this time, Your Honor. Alderman Mueller?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay, report to City Attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
Yes, Your Honor, we have an ordinance authorizing acceptance of a drainage easement from Dennis and Cheryl Mrowicki concerning property at 839 10th Street. Be it ordained, the mayor for behalf of the city is hereby authorized and directed to execute, and the city clerk for behalf of the city is hereby authorized and directed to attest. Acceptance of an easement from Mrowicki, a copy of which is here to attach, and that is a drainage easement of the construction of drainage infrastructure, and that property is located at the end of 10th Street.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Mueller, to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
This is at the end of 10th Street on the east side of 251. Correct. Okay.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Unfinished business. Any unfinished business? New business? Any proclamations?
No, Your Honor.
Petitions, communications?
Yes, Your Honor, you handled the first one earlier, but we have a communication also from the ad hoc sign committee. That's members of the design and review and the planning commission, zoning board of appeals that all work together to draft a new sign ordinance for consideration.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the communication, placed on file, and turn it over to the Plan Commission for further review and recommendation.
So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Been a motion by Alderman Lukosha, second by Alderman Putoff, to receive the communication, placed on file, turn to the Plan Commission for review and recommendation. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Any other petitions, communications?
No, nothing further, Your Honor. Received a communication from Fran Brawley regarding the Main Street 2-on-2. Interested in having a tournament at 2 p.m. Saturday, July 19th at Peru Sunset Park. 16 Division I teams, ages 18 to 50 years old.
This is a neighborhood thing, so I'd like to grant permission.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Ferrari, to receive the communication and grant permission for their 2-on-2 basketball on Saturday, July 19th, from 2 until 7, Sunset Park. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
If you need a water boy, I'll do it.
Public comment. Do I have any public comment? Anybody for any public comment? One more public comment. Nobody? Okay, closed session. Does anybody have a reason for closed session? Motion to adjourn?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Sapienza for adjournment. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
I take it that's storm pass, huh?
Talked about the disbursements. I talked about the travelers. I talked about the library. I talked about the library. I talked about the task. Let Vickery know. Let Vickery know. Rodney, you got your hair cut.